welcome everyone, all the audience and panelists. I would request audience to keep themselves on mute mode and please turn off your cameras so we could just see the panelists talking and preferably there are no disturbances in the conversation. So I'm Priyanka Kandalkar Devsaria, and I'll be the moderator for this discussion today. Baby steps to reopening your outlets, your businesses again post lockdown. This is the difficult times. Yes, the situation is pretty complex across globe. But then what we need to do is to brace up ourselves to the situation and overcome all the challenges that are there in the future. I would like to introduce the entire team of panelists we have with us today, starting with Dr. Nitin Nagrale. He is currently working at Quality NZ CEO India and Emerging Markets, and also a founder of Hospitality Purchasing Managers Forum, HPMF. We also have a celebrity chef, Chef Michael Swami. He is popularly known as Chef who wears many hats. So you guys got to go and check his website, and you'll see what all things he's possibly doing since so many years. He's a graduate from Le Cordon Bleu, London, and four-time winners of prestigious Gourmand Award, and has many accolades under his name, along with the experience of opening few famous restaurants and curating food shows on television. We have another chef with us, so it's going to be quite challenging job for me to handle two chefs, me coming from a food service background. So we have Chef Ritesh Tulsian. He is member of WICA, Western India Chefs Association. He's hands-on chef consultant specializing in new product development and menu designing. We also have Prajakta Parak. She's a founder and CEO at Spectrum Food Solutions, Food Safety Consultation. She is food technologist by profession, and she has experience of working in various profiles such as microbiologist, QA, food safety auditor. She is a FOSTAC trainer and lead certified auditor by ISO. We have Farzan Manjra. He's a partner and business head at Skadush Media. So Skadush Media, they have more than 450 clients under their brand name, and they have helped 60 plus brands to be, created under their portfolio. Also, for you to know that Skadush is into branding, PR, marketing, social media, design, and production. So again, the entire panelists, I welcome you all for taking out time and being here and sharing your positive views and point of view with us for today's discussion, that is reopening post lockdown. So my first question would be to Dr. Nitin Nagrale. So, sir, supply of resources is a key concern in current situation with all the boundaries that are currently sealed and everything. I mean, there are a lot of challenges everyone is facing. But post lockdown, how one should come up with pricing and logistical strategies? What would you like to suggest?
Hello, hi. So, Priyanka, first of all, I want to put things into perspective. What I want to say is somehow till COVID-19 came in, the hospitality industry considered supply chain as a support function. But today, somehow, all of us are giving us so much of importance that it has become a pre-primary and a forefront function. And I'm happy about it. So, so I want to tell you all that supply chain was always a backbone. But then today, if the supply chain is weak, then the organization will fall down and it will suffer. So it's important that every supply chain professional comes forward, behaves like a soldier, and ensures that he provides the required support to the organization. So what I mean by behaves like a soldier, he has to be vigilant. He has to have all arms and ammunition. He needs to utilize all available resources, utilize his skill set, and also he needs to be on target, that he needs to know what he needs to do next, so then the organization doesn't suffer. So if we talk about the scenario today, the supply chain has been working in a manner based on certain regulations by government. But as soon as the lockdown opens up, there will be ease in logistics. There will be ease in opening the warehouses which are closed at the moment. There will be easy transportation of goods and services. So I feel it will become easy, provided the consumer knows what they want. What I mean is the operations department will have to work out menus in advance. They need to work out requirements in advance. There will be need of a lot of frozen products or fresh products to be frozen or chilled and stored for a longer time, because we will not be able to rely on road or rail transport at all, because you would never know what is going to happen in future. So supply chain will become easy as soon as there is a pre-planning which comes into place. Also, there will be a lot of changes which will come in. The 100 items which were there on the menu will become maybe 20, because only those items which will have a larger sale or volume, or only those items which have got a larger shelf life, lesser cost and better selling price, they will come into place. And then the supply chain professionals will have to ensure that they are available from reliable suppliers. I'm using this word reliable because the fly-by-night kind of suppliers will run away. They will not be in existence at all. Every buyer and every organization would be wanting to talk to only the suppliers who have helped them in past and proved the credentials and credibility by good quality of product, good pricing, and good service. So it'll fall in place soon.
Okay, so that also brings me to a question to Chef Michael Swamy, because supply is one part of the operation. So chef, do you think chef and chef consultants need to have a different approach towards operations post lockdown, and what changes one could foresee that will surely happen? So if you could connect from here. Chef, you need to unmute yourself.
So to answer your question, chefs and consultants have to change their whole mindset in the first place. Earlier, we thought of chefs as only cooks in the kitchen or heading a kitchen. But the very word chef means manager. Cooking is just 10% of the entire gamut of being a chef. You're a manager, you're more than just an individual. You have to ideate, you have to create. And as Nitin was saying, yes, you have to be in touch with your source of all your ingredients. Yeah. Most of our chefs in India are not in touch with the farmer. They're not in touch with the production unit. I doubt some of them have even been to a local market, for example. We all wait for someone to bring the ingredients to us. And what's going to happen now is the chefs are literally going to have to use what's available today. So that whole mindset is going to change. And where it's going to change is you're going to need an educated team. You're going to need an educated chef. The days of the ustad will be out of the window, because you need a chef who can understand hygiene, economics, multitasking. A whole new role play for the chef is in play right now.
Right. So now I would like to, so I have placed my questions in such a way so that, I could connect the entire conversation in such a way. So now we spoke at, what things were happening at the suppliers end, and then, in the kitchen. So Prajakta, I have a question for you because you come from a food safety and food hygiene background. So if you could answer this question, food handling at the supplier's end and food preparation at kitchen end is very critical at this point of time. And do you think that customer has right to know all the details of food they are consuming? Because you need to put all these things, we need to connect the dots, what's happening, where the food is coming from, the manufacturing end to, getting prepared in the kitchen, and then the end consumer. So if you could just put, little light on this entire discussion. Prajakta, you need to unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So taking the current scenario into consideration, it's very important that your consumers, your clients should know that where your food is coming from and what are you eating. The most important part is
Prajakta, are you there?
yeah, I was just I don't know, it's signed out from my phone. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very important, that the consumer should know that what they are eating and what not. So, transparency is something that should happen at the moment, because it's not something like, when the lockdown gets over, people are going to run into the restaurants to have food. People at the initial level would be reluctant, to get into the restaurants and eat something out. So gaining the trust of people by showing them that how food safety and hygiene you are implementing in your restaurants at the back end of your kitchen is very important. So it's like, for example, now what Spectrum Food Solutions is doing is at the they are imparting trainings to whoever the clients are. At the same time, we are monitoring the back end kitchen, okay, on a virtual level at the moment, and then that is how we are showing that to the people, so that they come to know what kind of food safety and implementation measures the clients are taking or the restaurants are taking. And at the moment, it's very important that we as a consumer should know that what we are consuming, because at the end, it's all the issue of our health and concern. That is what I see.
Of course. And so, ahead of this discussion, I would like to also have point of view from Chef Ritesh, that how differently should executive chefs should consider their role now with regards to showcasing their skills and operational know-how. Like Chef Michael had already put little, his point of view on this entire question that I've asked you right now. But then, is there anything else you would like to highlight specifically?
Good afternoon, everyone. So I would like to take the discussion ahead, of what the three panelists have just said. So what happens is the job of an executive chef, as Chef Michael correctly put up, is actually supposed to be a kitchen manager, if I have to put it in simpler words. But but today he or she has to understand that it is not only the culinary operations that they have to bother about, but it is the entire business operations. If they do not, rather than fighting with, the supply chain management, mujhe ye saman chahiye hi chahiye, rather than that, you go out, understand what's available, what is the pricing, what is the quality, how frequently will that be available, and then start, all over again. It's not going to be the same at all anymore. If you have to unlearn a lot and then learn a lot yourself and then pass on that knowledge below. It has to be filtered down also.
Right.
The problem with the executive chefs is majority of the places is they themselves do not know where the resources come from. As Prajakta said, for the consumers to know what we are using, see, it's going to be a marketing tool also. If the chef can very well project right from whatever resource he's getting and how it is getting, processed and then served to the consumers, that particular restaurant will definitely have much better response than the ones who are just trying to still work on the traditional ways of working. Right. So the executive chef has to come out of the office and think very differently.
So that was, I think, you summed up really well the entire discussion, what, started from Chef Michael and then Prajakta, giving her little, insight to it. And to take it ahead, because you already spoke about marketing. So we have Farzan. So Farzan, what is the role of marketing in this testing times? So you have all these, experts coming with different experience and their ideas. How would you like to, put their ideas into marketing scenario and how it could benefit the businesses?
Good afternoon, everyone. What I would like to add here, I think the biggest input that I could bring here, like Prajakta only mentioned, is that say if this is one whole dish that we're making and everyone's making their contribution, marketing's role would be to let people know what exactly has been added in this particular dish. So the most important factor that marketing will play here is to gain your customers' trust. Up until now, marketing, I think the biggest role that it had was awareness primarily, and generating business, of course. And then secondary would be, maybe to just gain customers' trust. But with
Right.
the current scenario and everything that's happening right now, the most important thing is to gain their trust, is to make sure that we tell them exactly what we are doing. Because right now in a city like Bombay, for example, I can just give you a rough example because I've been born and brought up here. The most relatable example is something that, maybe you would just step out to have a vada pav on a regular day. You would possibly take a break from your work or anything, or maybe on your way home, anywhere. You would, without a doubt, just have one vada pav because it is a specialty here. And maybe you wouldn't have it at a restaurant or a 5-star because naturally you would think that, it may not have the taste here. Now, the perception of the people has changed to such a degree that now they'll think about having vada pav outside, naturally because of pretty obvious factors. And they may not give it a thought to eat at a restaurant.
Mhm.
So, that's just one example, a relatable example that I could think of that people will undergo now, especially in this industry. And change is the only constant. So with the operations, with supply chain, with the hygiene measures, with the scalar chain, the chain in command, everything, I think marketing goes hand in hand with, being part of that change. So the whole scenario is going to, the way content is put out, they say content is king here. So,
Right.
not only on your social media, even when you are talking about your own brand, offline, even if it's
Right.
customers coming to your place, you will be showing your brand in a different light altogether. Because nothing's the same anymore. Your seating will change, your interiors will change, operations change, the way you function, the way you cook, the way you handle food, the way you serve, everything is going to change. So with that, the entire marketing operation also changes.
Yeah. So I think you have, I think getting each one's role, together and working together to achieve that one dream goal is probably, what we need to do. So coming back to you, Nitin, sir, how do you think that outlet or, all these hospitality businesses and the owners should come down to consensus with the distributors and suppliers for sustainable business for each other, because this is something that everyone would be contemplating on, getting the consensus.
Project, first of all, most of us are assuming too many things. None of
Right.
us here or nobody in the world has seen what's going to happen. I'm just praying to the God that tomorrow, if there is a medicine available, then we'll get back to what we were. So let's pray and let's hope that things will be normal. Because if it doesn't get normal, it's not going to be easy for anybody who's sitting here or anywhere in the world. So if you talk about the distributors or the suppliers and the ownership, it's going to be more of collaborative efforts than what it was before. Because every organization would want to have a trusted supplier who would take ownership of the supplies to the organization and would provide what the organization needed. Just take an example of, say, Chef Michael. Now, I've seen Chef Michael getting into literally jungles. He would get back to some villages. He'll go to riverfront, and he goes to several places to find raw materials. So similarly, every chef now will start thinking, what do I need to, one, as Faizan was saying, because the specialty dish will not be important anymore if it is not cooked in a hygienic manner, if it is not presented in a hygienic manner, and if the guest doesn't feel safe at all. So, say Bukhara's or maybe a dhaba which was producing a butter chicken and people would go there to eat, they would now wonder whether, am I going to the restaurant for the food or am I going to the restaurant for the safety and some amount of hygiene? Because it's important that whenever they reach an organization or an outlet, first criteria will be safety in terms of, I feel safe, the place is hygienic, the place is fine in terms of the food safety, hygiene, and also this social distancing matters. So all of that will come into play. So these suppliers, not just raw material in terms of making food and beverages, But in terms of creating those small little arenas which will create social distancing, I was talking to a supplier and he said that the table of four now will have a division. So what happens is you are sitting on the same table, but you have a glass or acrylic division, and you are still maintaining the social distancing. So I don't know how practical will that be, but things like that will come into place. Everybody will have to think innovative. Everybody will have to come together and create ideas. So then there will be less cost, because as there will be no revenue, there will not be any budgets as such sanctioned. So everybody will have to come and work out things which will